forces have hit the building of the international media in Gaza, where RT's Arabic news channel has its office. Well, a building housing a UN agency and Red Cross office has also been hit and is now on fire. All this comes after Israel started to expand its ground offensive in Gaza City, with tanks moving towards its city. Well, I'm now joined by our Middle East correspondent, Paula Sleer. Paula, it looks like the third stage of Israel's offensive is now underway. So what can you tell us about the media coming under fire?
Well, Alice, the last few hours have seen the heaviest bombardment of Israeli shells over Gaza City. Israeli troops have been moving into densely packed residential areas, and as you correctly say, a media building housing international and Arab media outlets has been hit. The building is known as the Al Sharouk Tower. It is in Gaza City, and we're hearing reports that 2 cameramen from Dubai Television have been injured. As you correctly say, our sister organization, Rusia El Yom, houses its offices in this building. Now, the building is aflame, but at this stage we understand that the fire has not reached our offices, although the building as a whole has seen people being evacuated. This is the second time that media in Gaza have been highlighted. This is the second time that a media building has been hit by Israeli shells. I did earlier try to contact an Israeli army spokesperson to get some kind of response, but the official line from the Israeli government at this stage is that they are investigating the incident.
Indeed, that plume of grey smoke still very visible over the skyline of Gaza City, and this is the heaviest fighting seen so far. So what about the already dire humanitarian situation in the area?
Well, one of the buildings to be badly damaged this morning was the United Nations headquarters building in Gaza. This building feeds and distributes food and supplies to some 1 million refugees who live inside Gaza. And at this stage, we are hearing conflicting reports from the United Nations as to whether or not they've been forced to suspend their operations. 3 people were injured in that attack. We understand that 2 of them were civilians who'd sought shelter in the UN building. A third person was a UN staff worker. The Red Cross building also seems to have been hit. All of this happening just shortly before a meeting between the Israeli Foreign Minister Tzipi Livni and the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, who is in the region to talk to Israelis and Palestinians and push ahead for a ceasefire. And as you can well imagine, he has expressed outrage at the latest Israeli shelling of these media buildings and of the UN headquarters buildings, and he is urging both sides to agree to an immediate ceasefire. One of the big concerns in this current state of violence is the innocent civilians who are getting caught up in it. The figures we have are that more than 1,000 people in Gaza have so far died in this conflict. At least a third of them are women and children. I took a look at particularly the children who are the real victims of this violence.